This month is very, very important for all the Buddhist people who follow Buddha teachings, who practice Buddha Dharma. Lama Tsong-kha-pa said, so among the Buddha's actions or Dharma activities, the best activity is activity of giving teachings. So when we remember Buddha Shakyamuni, so we remember, so many different good qualities, have a lot of powers, lot of energy, very full of love and compassion, and particularly, we must remember his teachings. Second, as a Buddhist, we have a different celebration. Celebrate, like a Vesak month. Celebrate the turning wheel of Dharma. Celebrate, different activities of the Buddha. So when we celebrate, we should not celebrate as celebrate our birthday party. So when we celebrate Buddha activities, important days, we must remember his teaching, particularly remember all the practices that we study his teaching and practice the Dharma as much as we can. And also, so when we study Buddha's teaching, so the Buddha teaching is similar like a medicine. So we are patient, so we seek for millions of years. All the medicines not necessary for individual sick person. All the medicine not necessary to take individual sick person. This means Buddha teachings is very vast and also very profound. All the teaching which he taught, 2,600-700 years ago, some teachings is very important, but not that useful, relevant this time. Also, so many teaching he taught 2,600-700 years ago. So many teachings are very necessary, very important, very relevant in our daily life. Particularly the teaching of love, compassion, tolerance, meditation, controlling our own the negative thoughts are very much relevant, even though 21st century, particularly, like this year. Therefore, when we study Buddha Dharma, we should not study Buddha teaching as a general knowledge, as a history. We must study the Buddha teaching as a most necessary, most important, most relevant in our daily life. The more you study Dharma, the more you become more calm, kind person, more patient, more, need to more have a perfect knowledge, to know the truth and reality. Because when we chant chanting for becoming Buddha. We chant, free us from suffering, free all sentient beings from suffering. It's a chanting. Not enough to chant all the chanting. We must have the ability to free all sentient beings from suffering. We must have the technique, methods, how to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, the more you study Dharma, the more you reduce our negative thoughts, the more we practice Dharma, the more we generate our positive thoughts. All the negative thoughts, all the sufferings and problems is come from or rooted by ignorance. So this is clearly Buddha explained from during the first will of Dharma, second will of Dharma, third will of Dharma. Every time when he, gave teaching, he always taught to the disciple, to the attendant. So ignorance is the root to cause sufferings. Ignorance is the root to produce problems, particularly cause to arise all the negative thoughts. Therefore, we really need to realize what does mean ignorance. First, we need to realize, or we need to recognize, not intellectual level, we really need to recognize the ignorance. So I explained many times, ignorance is a mind. Also, wisdom also is a mind. Both wisdom and ignorance, both mind can perceive things. Things perceived to the ignorance, also the things perceived to the wisdom. But the way of perceiving things to the ignorance and wisdom is totally different. When the things perceived to ignorance, when the ignorance perceive the things, ignorance always perceive things as independent. When the wisdom perceive the things, always perceive things are totally empty of independent existence. So, beginning of our Dharma class, first we should think, I really need to know, I need to recognize which one is ignorance, and how ignorance produce attachment, anger, hatred, desire, pride, all the negative thoughts. So when we reflect on one of the negative thoughts, like anger, suddenly we feel when I'm become very angry, I feel I'm not happy at all. So when I'm very angry, I cannot see my friends, my families are, good person. So when I'm very angry, I cannot feel the tasty of food and drink. When I'm very angry, I can't sleep well. I can't talk well. I can't think well. Therefore, just when we think only anger is very bad. So why we have anger? Why we get angry. We get angry because we have a anger. Why we have a anger? There's no reason, there's no purpose to have a anger. Anger is always with us. We were born with the anger, ignorance, attachment, desire. So we really think, so through study Dharma, through study Lamrim, I really need to recognize ignorance. Therefore, beginning of our Dharma class, everybody generate very pure motivation for studying Dharma. Only motivation for achieving Buddhahood. In order to achieve Buddhahood, in order to achieve liberation, in order to become a Buddha, Arahat, we need to eliminate all the afflictive emotions, which is caused, rooted by ignorance. In order to eliminate all the afflictive emotions, we need to get rid of ignorance. Ignorance, right? Without eliminate ignorance, we cannot eliminate all the afflictive emotions. All the afflictive emotions is within our mind. We cannot ultimately be happy. Therefore, the only motivation for studying Dharma is achieving Buddhahood. In order to achieve Buddhahood, we need to eliminate ignorance. Ignorance can be eliminated if we have a particular wisdom, particular mind, which relies emptiness. Emptiness. This means look like two person is fighting about something. Two person is fighting about the snow mountain. Snow mountain. Naturally, the snow mountain is white. It's purely white. It's pure white. So one person said, "Oh, the snow mountain is totally black." The person say or not, the person believe. For the person, when the snow mountain perceive to person, when the person look at the snow mountain, for the person, the snow mountain is a black. Other person, when they look at the snow mountain, other person can sees the snow mountain is white. Also, snow mountain perceive him as a white. When they don't discuss each other the snow mountain, there's no any problems. When they discuss about the snow mountain, when the two person discuss about the snow mountain, one person said, "Oh, the snow mountain is black." Other person said, "The snow mountain is purely white." White. Right? They are not arguing there's a snow mountain out or not. Both accept there's a snow mountain. But there's the way of perceiving is different. One perceived black snow mountain, one perceived white snow mountain. But for us, all ordinary person who haven't realized emptiness, for us, the snow mountain is totally black snow mountain, totally black color. The person who realizes emptiness, for the person who realizes emptiness, the snow mountain is purely white. Right? This is the analogy, example. Then the wisdom and the ignorance both focus same object, like a both focus observe the same object, which is mountain. The way of perceiving is different. So at the beginning, everybody think, I wish to be Buddha, therefore I really need to recognize ignorance. I want to eliminate ignorance. Ignorance can be eliminated when I realize emptiness. Only emptiness can eliminate ignorance. Then only practicing, if we only meditate on emptiness, definitely we can, reduce all the negative thoughts. Then we can eliminate ignorance, but cannot achieve Buddhahood, cannot be Buddha. Therefore, we need to practice bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, right? So all our practices, we must put into two practices, practice of wisdom and practice of bodhicitta. Therefore, right now we are, almost, I think, very close to the full moon day of the Vesak month. On the full moon day, on the 15th early morning, usually you get up a little late, but early morning, everybody get a bit earlier, do 3 times prostration, take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and visualize all sentient beings, generate love and compassion. They wish to be Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Then you cultivate bodhicitta. After you fully generated bodhicitta, then you start your recitation, chanting, prostration, whatever your daily dharma practice. Every day, all your practice always start with the bodhicitta. Then in between, then you need to contemplate on emptiness, try to understand emptiness. And slowly when you have, the unmistaken understanding of emptiness, then you do meditation on emptiness. Therefore, cultivate bodhicitta. Realize, we should not say realize bodhicitta. Right? We say cultivate bodhicitta. Then realize emptiness. Whether you realize or not, emptiness is always there. For example, the teaching, recognizing your mother, says me and my me and my old mother. He said, my old, very, very old mother. We always together, I didn't recognize. That means my mind and emptiness of my mind is always there. Since I was born, the emptiness of the mind is always with me. My mother emptiness is with me. I didn't recognize until today. So whether Buddha, explain emptiness or not, all phenomena, the nature is always there. Right? Therefore, you must do, meditation on emptiness, selflessness. So if you do these two practices, wisdom, bodhicitta, then daily your practices, then the practice become very complete, very powerful. Because when you practice bodhicitta, for you slowly, everybody, all sentient beings, without exception, all sentient beings look like your best friend. Until today, we have a concept, oh, my dear one. Oh, those are not my friends. Oh, those are my enemy. We always have this kind of habits, this kind of concept. My friends, my enemy, my closer one. So this concept really, lead us into problems. When we have a friends, concept of friends, oh, those people is my friend. Then you have a strong attachment. Your mind fully attached to this particular person, particular people, group of people. Then one day there's a problem. Then suddenly you feel so angry, upset, very disappointment. Then you feel very unhappy for many months, maybe whole life. And also we have a concept, oh, those are my enemy. Oh, I don't like this person, that person. So this idea also makes you very unhappy. When you remember the person, suddenly you feel very unhappy, feel very disturbed. When you see the person, also you feel very unhappy, very disturbed. And particularly the person whom you don't like, when the person become, their business become more successful, their family, all the family, become very successful, then you're jealous. You have a very strong jealous toward them. When you have a jealous toward, very jealousy towards them, then you have a very strong, like a negative prayers, negative wishing. I wish those family, the business going down. I wish the family will sick. I wish one of the, parents die. So when you practice bodhicitta we generate, we practice based on, unbiased love and compassion. When you have a purely unbiased love and compassion, there's no enemy. Everybody are, everybody your friends, your close one. Then whoever, become more happy, more successful, you feel very happy. Then there's no really, anger going to reduce. Then you become very kind, happy, loving person in your family, in your society. Right? Then when you meditate on emptiness, first you have a concept, oh, this is beautiful, this is ugly. When you believe this person is so beautiful, again your mind is attached. Oh, this person is very ugly, this object is very ugly. Then anger arises. So when you meditate on emptiness, when you realize, that even though when you have a unmistaken understanding, haven't realized yet, when you have the correct understanding of emptiness, of the phenomena of the person, then for you don't have a concept, oh, this is so beautiful, this is very ugly. Then when you don't have these two concepts, then you don't have an attachment. You don't have a mind to attach to the beautiful object. You don't have a sense of hatred, sense of, anger towards the ugly phenomena. Because for you, the beautiful phenomena, the ugly phenomena is just a concept. We human level, oh, this is beautiful, this is ugly. In the reality, there's no such a say this is purely beautiful, there's ugly. Then attachment reduce, anger reduce. Also, when you compare, pure and impure food, also we have a concept, oh, this food is very pure, this food is very impure. We should not supposed to eat this impure food. Again, attachment there, sense of hatred, sense of dislike is there. Therefore, we need to meditate on emptiness, particularly for the Vesak month. For the Vesak month, I'm not saying for the Vesak month usually we should not do recitation, chanting. Yes, someday you can see some master or some monks and nuns quite extreme. Always ask you to, you just do recitation, chanting, prostration, make offering. You don't need to do study. It's also one of the extreme teaching. Also, some master says, also you can say particularly many Tibetan master or teacher or geshes, those, recitation, chanting, or these are not important. You do study, you do meditation. This is also one of the extreme teachings. Extreme teaching. So we must follow in the middle way. Middle way. In the one hand, we must study, we must do a lot of meditation. On the other hand, we need to do recitation, chanting, prostration, offering, light offering, whatever, for accumulating merits. Without having, enough merit, you cannot really do the proper meditation. Because we can feel, right? Everybody feel, at the morning, first time in the morning, every day, beginning of our meditation, beginning of our daily practice, we look okay. Then after 10-15 minutes, our mind is everywhere. We cannot focus. Because we don't have enough merit. All the negative karma we have, those are very strong. Therefore, we must follow in the middle way. Recitation, chanting, all our daily, kind of the religious things. On the other hand, study, not only study. If you only do a lot of study, again, the studying dharma cause to arise ego, pride. After top of your studying, when you do meditation, then studying dharma cause to reduce anger, pride, ego, not cause to arise them. So therefore, please, everybody must follow in the middle way. Okay, right now we are talking about recognizing ignorance, right? So at the beginning of the actual object to negate it. So I'm doing revision. Finishing Lamrim is not that important. We must have the proper understanding, that negation. So when you think about negation, need to negate, there's two kinds of negation. Generally, I say generally, we can name two kinds of negation. One, negation must negate through path. That means when you practice compassion, you're going to negate anger. When you practice ugliness, essenceless, you're going to negate the attachment, desire. When you practice wisdom, you're going to negate the ignorance. This means all the affect emotions include ignorance. We can name negation. Negation, because we need to negate, we need to eliminate. Right? All of them are existent phenomena. You remember there's two kinds of operation. All the operations are we named negation. Those we must negate through the path. So when we think about, oh, anger is no good. Anger is very bad mind. I don't want. I don't want. Then how I can eliminate? Through recitation? No. Only recitation, chanting cannot eliminate anger. In order to eliminate anger, I need a methods. I need a path, which is pure compassion, pure love. The pure love and compassion can negate the anger. Then remember, each of the afflictive emotion has an individual antidotes. So when you practice compassion, you can eliminate anger, not pride. Pride. Because if you always practice compassion, then again you think, oh, I'm a very compassionate person. I'm one of the most compassionate person. Then ego, pride arise. Right? That's means you can see practicing compassion can reduce anger and hatred, not pride. When you practice, dependent origination, dependent phenomena, then you can reduce pride, not attachment. For example, when you have a $1 million in your bank, you may have a very pride. You feel very proud about having $1 million. Right? When you have a sense of proud, then you don't really, always everybody look down. Oh, I have millions of dollars, they don't have, she don't have, he don't have. You feel very proud about, right? Then second, when you think, oh, my friend has 2 million or 10 billion, then your pride crush. But anger is still there. So when you realize emptiness, then the meditating on emptiness can be antidotes for all the emotions. But therefore, the negation, one of the negation, need to negate through the path, So we don't have the actual path to eliminate the negation, number one. Right? Then all the emotion include ignorance is arise we have, because we don't realize, we don't really understand the truth, the reality of the phenomena. For example, let's say we arrived in one of the new country, we never been before there. So when we reached there, there's a fruit. The fruit was very popular, this country. Then when we arrived there, the people give us the fruit. Oh, this is a very popular, one of the best fruit. So we ate the fruit. Or those people who live there, they also have been eating the fruit. Very tasty, looks so nice, looks so real, right? We eat the fruits. Somehow then you realize, oh, since I ate the fruits, I feel very, unwell. I feel sick. I feel lazy. I feel not so well, physically or mentally. Also, when you look at those people who lived there for many years, who have been eating the fruits, also those are look like same, physically very unhealthy, mentally very unhealthy, very lazy, very sleepy. Then you ask a question, why I feel like that? Why they feel like? Then you did analyze. You did analyze. After you analyze, you notice, oh, the fruit is very delicious, but it is a poison fruit. The poison fruit, right? So what you do, you really cannot throw the fruits because it says you are meant food to eat. It's meant food to survive. You cannot throw the fruits. Then what you need to know, you need to eliminate the poison parts, purify the poison parts, and eat the pure fruits. Exactly same. When you look at around you, you cannot ignore, the house, car, life, sun, moon. We cannot ignore them. But we must ignore, totally eliminate the independent path, not the conventional paths, not the actual phenomena. So therefore, when you listen the music, right, you must listen the music. You should not think the music is independent music. When you eat the food or fruits, you must eat the food. But the food, you must realize, it is not independent food. That means you are purifying the independent fruits, not the fruits. So you are purifying the poison, not the actual fruits, right? Therefore, here you can see you need a wisdom to separate the poison from the fruits. You really need, very fine, precise knowledge how to purify the poison. Therefore, you can see, in the many famous chefs in the restaurant, they know how to, cook the fish with a lot of poison. If they cut little deep, then the poison come out. You can kill the people, right? Therefore, when you think about the phenomena, we really need very fine knowledge, very fine, precise knowledge. In the one hand, you need to accept the phenomena. You have to accept, for example, house. We have to accept a house, car, we cannot deny. At the same time, you need to know how to negate the independent house, inherent house. So in order to eliminate the second negation, which is the ultimate, independent, inherent, then we need very particular wisdom. That means the wisdom, realize emptiness, negate the negation, right? So last time we talked about two kinds of negation. The first negation need to negate through the path, apply the path and negate the negation. So when you think, then we have a really big the responsibility to cultivate, practice the path. Then we can eliminate the anger attachment. Otherwise, we cannot. Second, when we think about how we can negate the actual negation, then the actual negation, we must negate through reasoning and logics, particularly the logic, particularly the dependent origination. So we talk about two kinds of negation. Then next, we do a little bit discussion about question, page number 206. If, as you say, refutation by means of reasoning is done in order to develop accurate certain knowledge by eradicating the incorrect cognitive process. That means accurate, certain accurate and certain knowledge about certain knowledge by eradicating inaccurate cognitive process. Then reason will cancel out object. It is apprehended by certain kinds of mind. What is the mind? That means through reasoning and logic, you develop very accurate knowledge, accurate mind, which is realize emptiness, right? So when you have a very accurate mind, wisdom realize emptiness, then the wisdom can cancel out an object as apprehended by certain kinds of mind. That means the wisdom can cancel or negate the object of the ignorance, which is the independent phenomena, independent existent phenomena, right? That means logic. The second, so what is the mind? Which mind is really, apprehend the object, which is negation. Then, in general, there are limitless number of conceptual consciousness that apprehend the object of negation. However, you should carefully identify the incorrect conceptual consciousness that is root of all false and defect, as you should eradicate the different object. This means there's a limitless number of conceptual consciousness that apprehend the object of negations. Therefore, limitless number of conceptual consciousness that apprehend the object of negation. How and why? This means there's a limitless phenomena. Even though in your room, you can say there's a few hundred different objects. When you look at each of the object, there's a conceptual consciousness which apprehend the negation. So if you negate each of the phenomena one by one, we won't have enough time to negate the negation, right? For example, very simple way, if you're going to invite all the Singaporean one by one, okay, please come to my house, please come to my house. It takes few years to invite them to your house. So in order to say, okay, one by one, simple, you can say, all Singaporean, please come to my house. Finish. Very easy. Same way, however, you should carefully identify the incorrect conceptual consciousness that is the root for all false and defeat, and you should eradicate the different object. If you eradicate each of the conceptual consciousness which is apprehend the negation, it takes long time. The very easy way, you need to eradicate the referent object. A referent object. Right? Do you remember how I did explain what does mean the referent object? I use the snow mountain. One person believe the snow mountain is black. Other person believe the snow mountain is white. Both person agree there's a snow mountain. Both person, they don't deny there's a no snow mountain. They argue about the color. One say white, one say snow mountain is black. Right? They don't say, oh, there's no snow mountain. So the referent object is look like the black snow mountain. Snow mountain is there, but there's not, at all black snow mountain. That means the phenomena are there, but there's not at all independent phenomena. So the independent phenomena, independent cup, independent pen, pencil, books, house, car, all of them are referent object of the ignorance. So you need to eradicate the referent object. So therefore, you need to think very simple way. You just reflect on our object. You just reflect on our object. Then you think how the object is exist. Independently, dependently. Independently or dependently. Right? So when you think based on one object, you really, we don't just go through the books. We really need to analyze. Because look like we are at this moment, we all look like, researcher. We really need to research, not just believe, follow Buddha Shakyamuni, not just follow Nagarjuna. We really need to go through research, study, analysis, research. That means how things exist independently or dependently. First, we can assume, make assumption, oh, things exist independently. But just go this idea, that idea, oh, things exist independently. They ask again question, are you sure? Can we believe things, exist, established independently? Independent means not depend on other. Because we say, oh, financially I'm very independent. Right? Many people say, oh, I'm very independent because I don't need to depend on my parents. I don't need to depend on anybody because I'm independent person. In the reality, conventionally, in the worldly concept, we say independent day. Oh, we are free from certain country. We are independent country. I'm independent person. Yeah, worldly, this is just worldly concept. In the reality, when you analyze the phenomena which is in your mind, right? Oh, this is independent phenomena. Then is the thing is independently exist, not depend on cause, not depending on condition. Then we cannot accept, the condition phenomena which is not depending on cause and condition. Very simple, apple, mango, rice, whatever we eat, it's come from many causes, condition. One cause missing, the fruit cannot be very complete. Depend on cause condition. Then first we believe thing exists independently. Then we notice, oh, there's something wrong. Right? Yes, then we notice, oh, things around us actually is come from so many different causes, condition. I cannot deny this thing, not come from causes, condition. Then you would realize one meaning of dependent origination, dependent on causes, condition. This concept, this idea is not very uniqueness in, like a Buddhist and Buddhist. Also, non-Buddhists also believe, things come from causes, condition. But that in the deep down, the non-Buddhists, finally, finally everything's, created by like a creator. For us, we cannot accept. Then, second, what about, how we can understand things are come from causes and condition. Then how we can establish this is cup, this is spoon, this is plate. How we establish? Because the spoon also come from causes and condition. The plate also come from causes and condition. The table also come from causes and condition. Then how we can, establish this is cup, not spoon. This is spoon, not table. How we can establish this, these three phenomena differently? How? Because all of them, equally come from causes, condition. Then second come, parts and whole. Then last, the final one come, the mainly established by your thoughts, mainly leveled by our thoughts. That means the plates, this is spoon, right? Plate and spoon, plates and cup. So when you really think very precisely, the cup come from causes, condition, the plate come from causes, condition, but we cannot say, this is a cup because come from causes, condition. Then the plate also become a cup. Then how we establish this is a plate, right? That means the cup and plate, the both are come from causes, condition. We just label this is cup, this is a plate, nothing more than that. But naturally for us, cup mean, uniquely exists from, the plate side. Cup uniquely exists from the cup side. This is what we believe innately. Innately we believe this way. Then this is a case. Also we can believe this way. This is a cup. In order to be a cup, the cup must have a very uniqueness characteristic, very unique characteristic. They must have one of the uniqueness, therefore essentialized. So then you can analyze the cup. Where is the uniqueness of the cup? From outside, from inside, from the side, up, bottom. When you analyze each of the parts, then you cannot find, say, due to this thing become a cup. Due to that, this cup, this thing become a plate. We cannot. Therefore, he said, eradicate the referring object. This means independent. What I'm trying to say you here, not just believe because of the Buddha teaching, not just accept because of the Nagarjuna, because Lama Tsong-kha-pa, because of the Chandagiri, whoever, don't. You try to, you must be you must be very clever, very curious person. We have to be very curious person. We must have a very curiosity mind. That's all. Buddha said like that, it is true or not. Nagarjuna said this is true or not. You need to analyze. Then we really realize emptiness. Otherwise, we just follow as a blind person, lead by a blind. How we know Nagarjuna, saying the truth? How we know Buddha really saying the truth? We must accept what Buddha said. We just accept what Nagarjuna said. We cannot. Buddha said sometimes there's a no next life. Sometimes Buddha said there's a next life. Buddha said sometimes there's a creator. Buddha said sometimes there's no creator. Because Buddha was look like doctor. For us, listen the teaching and it must have a very honest mind to remember the definition or the teacher, definition of the disciples. First, as a Buddhist disciple, we really need unbiased mind, honest, be honest. You know, in front of Buddha, also you just be honest. Oh, Buddha, you said like this, I want to study. Then there's a way we can realize emptiness. Then next, the paragraph. Moreover, the remedies set for in store for other affliction, such as attachment, cure a portion of affliction, whereas the remedies set for the ignorance cure all afflictions. Please always remember this sentence. The remedies set forth in Sutara for other afflictions like attachment, anger, pride, so and so other afflictions, such as attachment, cure a portion of affliction, portion or part of affliction. Whereas the remedies set for the ignorance cure all afflictions. Now you can see the important why we need to realize emptiness. Realize the emptiness, cure the ignorance. Cure ignorance, cure all the affliction emotion. Then no negative emotion, no positive emotion, no karma, no samsara. Then you will achieve liberation. But just so far we really stuck. You know, I said many times, we are not lacking teacher. Or we are not lacking really, karma, merit. We are really stuck, not understand the ignorance, not realizing emptiness. So we stuck there. Until this life, we stuck in samsara, knowing nothing. We are look like like cow, like donkey, until this life. What donkey does, hungry, get a food, eat, until full the stomach, and drink water, and sleep, go around, carry the burden for the owner, then, produce the, like a baby. Until this life, we all like donkey, because we eat food, thirsty, drink water, feel tired, sleep, produce like our next generation, and carry burden for others. So this life is a very, very, very important life. Remember what Nagarjuna Chandrakirti said. If we, lose this opportunity, if we're not able to take the advantage of this life, then we really lose the opportunity forever. So until now, we are look like donkey, cow, eat food, drink water, produce the generation, carry the burden for ourselves, carry burden for others. This life we can see very important because we have the opportunity to know the cause of the suffering, how to eliminate, how to realize emptiness. So we really should not waste our time, our energy with the, meaningless thing, unnecessary thing. Particularly most of us over 50 years, 60 years, We don't have so many years to go. Whatever we have, left, whatever time we left, maybe another 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, or 5 years, or 2 years, or a few months. We just put effort to recognize ignorance, realize emptiness, try to eliminate the ignorance, try to achieve liberation. Therefore, always remember these two sentences. The remedies set forth in Sutra for other affliction, such as attachment, cure a portion of affliction, whereas the remedies set for the ignorance cure all afflictions. Therefore, ignorance is the basis for all faults and defects. Then the quotation from Chandrakirti. If you remember the quotation, good. Cannot remember? First remember the first two sentences. Then here, very important question arises. Why not attachment cannot cure other afflictions? Why cure other affliction if we cure ignorance? Why? Why? Oh, again, we should not just blindly follow Buddha, blindly follow Nagarjuna. Then there's a very important said by Nagarjuna. Also, we need to study. What is the delusion? Right, sir? Delusion, I said many delusion, ignorance are synonymous. What is the ignorance? Right? Without looking, Lamrim, can you have a kind of idea about ignorance? What does mean ignorance? We should not think the mind which don't understand anything. Totally darkness mind. No. Dark mind. No. What is the delusion like? It is ignorance. Delusion means ignorance, which in the context is, which in this context, delusion, ignorance mean awareness. This means a mind that mistakenly, superimpose intrinsic nature. Superimpose intrinsic nature. That means ignorance is a mind which is superimpose intrinsic nature of the phenomena. For example, if you don't understand this meaning, for example, like two children playing on the ground, night time, playing on the ground. One child realized the moon is so far away from him or her, so far away. He realized he cannot catch the moon, he cannot touch the moon. Other child, he or she doesn't realize the moon is so far away. Mistakenly, the child think, oh, the moon is so close to me, I can touch, I can catch up, I can catch, I can touch. Therefore, other child tirelessly just jumping on the ground, try to catch the moon, try to touch the moon. They feel tired, didn't eat and food, and again jump towards the moon because he believed I can touch, I can catch the moon, because mistakenly the child didn't realize. Mistakenly the child pushed superimpose the closeness, the closeness characteristic to the moon, actually so far. Same way, all phenomena not exist intrinsically, but ignorance mistakenly put one unique towards all phenomena, which is intrinsic nature. Nature then apprehend the ignorance also in a one hand impose the intrinsic nature to the phenomena. In the other hand, same time they apprehend the things that exist inherently or intrinsically. Therefore, apprehend internal and external phenomena as exist by way of their own intrinsic characteristic. So please, for the Vesaman, please everybody memorize this sentence about the meaning of ignorance. Right? It is ignorance, which in this context is awareness that mistakenly superimpose intrinsic nature. It apprehends internal and external phenomena as existing by the way of their own intrinsic characteristics, right? Existing by way of their own intrinsic characteristic. Again, we can use the, this phenomena, right? So what is this? This remote control. So we cannot say this is not remote control. It doesn't have any function. Yeah, this is a remote control. Now, when we think about how this remote control exists, according to this one, this remote control, the external phenomena, this remote control existing by way of its own intrinsic characteristic. By way of its own intrinsic character, it doesn't have. If it has a very, its own intrinsic mean it has a one uniqueness which does not depend on anything, right? This doesn't make sense, right? Ignorance. First, in the definition of the meaning of ignorance. More, I said, why ignorance cures everything cure? Attachment cure cannot cure other affliction. Why? Then there's a commentary by Chandrakirti. It is said that one becomes attached to the things, so we have an attachment to the things, by the power of afflictive misunderstanding. Again, this is the ignorance, power of unafflicted misunderstanding, a consciousness that superimpose as essence of the thing, and that one stop, second existing by totally stopping that which is served the cease for the process of existence. That means ignorance stop, then there's no more, samsara. Then why? Again, you ask why? Then there's a quotation from the Arya Deva. Arya Deva, one of the most important, student or disciple of the Nagarjuna, one of the most important, disciple, which is carry his views, flourish the rest of the time. The cease of the worldly existence is a consciousness, mean ignorance. Object R is sphere of the activity. When you see the object like self, you negate the cease of the worldly existence. That means ignorance is the cease. The worldly existence means samsara. Ignorance is the cease of the samsara. Also, you can say ignorance is the cease for all the emotions. Object R is superior activities. That means the independent existence is the object of the ignorance. Clear? Ignorance. When you see when you see the ignorance, when you see the object, lack self, they negate the seeds of world existence. That means ignorance is the seeds for the samsara. So how we stop ignorance? We can stop ignorance when we see object, mean the all phenomena, all object of the phenomena totally lack self, lack of independent existence. Then you can stop ignorance, can stop samsara. Then quotation, another from Ayadeva, just as the tactile sensory faculty pervades the body. First the analogy. Just as the faculty sensory faculty pervades the body, delusion lies within all afflictions. Therefore, by destroying delusion, you will destroy all afflictions. Remember, first line, the tactile sensory, the body sense pervades all parts of body. But if somebody touches your head, you can feel it, you can sense, because this body pervaded by the body's physical sense. All parts of our body, it actually fully covered by the body sense, the body faculty sense. All parts of body. Then all afflict emotions are look like body. The ignorance is look like the faculty, tactile sensory. Any attachment, any negative emotion arise, ignorance always within them. Attachment arise, ignorance there. Anger arise, ignorance there. Therefore, by destroying delusion, you will destroy all afflictions. Also, I ask you to memorize this quotation. This one, that what time is it now?
4:10.
4:10. Okay, before we move next topic, can we have a Q&A? Because I really want to go, more precisely, make sure you understood. Otherwise, you just sit there, listen, and feel tired. That's all, Lamrim class finish. At the end, you don't have anything. That means really we are wasting time. I'm wasting your time, you're wasting my time. We really need to go, very precisely make sure you understand. You understood the meaning of ignorance, meaning of negation, how ignorance, cause to arise all the afflictive emotions. Okay, no question. Then you think about. I move the next. Then there's a question again from.
I'm sorry. There's questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christine.
Yes, Geshe La.
Yes.
Geshe La mentioned just now that we are born with delusions like anger, hatred, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand to a certain extent that why are we born with delusions? But my question is, then why are we not born with wisdom instead?
Okay. It is not truth. We born with the wisdom, we born with the love and compassion, we born with the anger, delusion equally. If you compare which is more powerful, wisdom and ignorance, compassion and anger, we always notice the negative thoughts are more powerful than the positive thoughts. Anger is more strong and powerful, more easy to come than the love and compassion. Do you remember the mental five pervasive what is that? Yes, of wisdom. Actually, we born with a wisdom. Because look at everybody know which is good, which is bad. Even though children, they're always tasked, they're really curious. They try to understand what is this, what is that. Yeah, we was born with a wisdom. Wisdom has a different level, right? So we were really born the ignorance, but we didn't born before, the wisdom which realize emptiness. Why? Therefore, so until this lifetime, maybe we haven't had any opportunity, somebody introduce us emptiness. Therefore, we didn't born with a wisdom which realize emptiness. Still, we have a wisdom to realize the truth. We have a wisdom to realize good and bad, hot and cold, big and small. So we born with the wisdom, not the wisdom which realize emptiness, because until now we didn't have any opportunity to listen the teaching about emptiness. Third, we didn't have any opportunity try to understand how things exist. We are until today we are totally blind for eons of eons of eons. So we didn't want the wisdom which realize emptiness. Make sense? Stephen, can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who asked question? Does it make
Christine?
sense?
Yes, thank you, Geshe La. Thank you.
Okay. Any question?
Not for now.
Okay. Then page number 207. Now I'm just assume, okay, I just guess, I assume, I think most of you understand the negation, the ignorant, how ignorant, work with the other affiliate emotions. As you say, ignorance is the root of the second existence, then it would be incorrect of Chandrakirti to explain in the commentary. So last time we stopped here, right? So first, ignorance is the root of second existence. He said many times by Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, Aryadeva. Now somebody asks a question. If, as you say, ignorance is the root of second existence, then it would be incorrect for Chandrakirti to explain in the commentary on the middle way and in the clear words that the view of apprehending aggregates as I and mine is the root of second existence. For there cannot be two primary cause of second existence. Then somebody, raise a question. If ignorance is the root of second existence, then Chandrakirti said, the pressing aggregates as I and mine is the root of second existence. For there cannot be two primary cause of the second existence, right? For example, in one country, we cannot have two kings. One king, pass away, or one king is become very old, they be appointed new king. One country, doesn't have two kings, right? That means now we are really talking about the root, the primary cause of the samsara. Until now, there's ignorance is the root. And sometime in Chandrakirti also said, the apprehending the pressing aggregates as I, mine, is the root of self-existence. Then, cannot be two primary causes of self-existence. This is the question. Then how come there's a two root of the self-existence? One, ignorance. Second is the pressing aggregates, which is apprehended as I and mine. Then the answer here, in this section on the person of middle capacity, so based on Lamrim, based on the middle capacity, I have already explained what other master says about how to assert ignorance and the view of the pressing aggregates. Therefore, so here you can go back to about the middle capacity, then explain. Ignorance is the root. Then the pressing, view of pressing aggregates is the second. But here, according to the Pasangika, Chandrakirti, other Mother Maga consider the conception of the thing as truly existent to be cognitive operation. Clear? First, please remember this one. Therefore, here I will explain. Lama Tsong-kha-pa saying, I will explain the assertion of the Master Chandrakirti. Other Madhya Makas consider what? Consider the conception of the thing as truly existent to be cognitive obscuration. He asserted that such as conceptual is the ignorance, and what is more, he asserted that it is afflictive ignorance, for cited above. So rest of the other masters said ignorance is the cognitive obscuration. Please remember, rest of the other master, or the other school say ignorance is cognitive obscuration. Cognitive obscuration. Then Chandrakirti Pasangika say no. Ignorance is not the cognitive obscuration. So what is the second other obscuration? We have got two kinds of obscuration, right? What are they? Cognitive obscuration and can somebody tell me?
Afflictive obscuration and cognitive obscuration.
Yeah, cognitive obscuration and afflictive obscuration, right? Yeah, correct. I will check this with the yes. Therefore, rest of the schools, rest of the other master, ignorance is the cognitive obscuration. Particularly, Pasangika said, no. Ignorance is not the cognitive obscuration. It is an afflictive obscuration. It is a kind of afflictive negative thoughts, not the cognitive, right? Remember this one. Then, more clearly, he's saying here, moreover, he asserted that such as a conception is the ignorance, and what is more, he asserted that it is afflictive ignorance. Afflictive ignorance. That means ignorance is an afflictive obscuration. So here, how you can remember? There's two kinds of achievements. One is the only liberation. Second is, complete liberation or Buddhahood. It's a synonymous. Complete liberation, we are fully liberate. Buddhahood is synonymous. The only liberation or liberation achieving Arhat state, these are synonymous. So when you, according to the Chandrakirti, according to the Madhyamaka, particularly Pasangika point of view, when someone achieves only liberation, not Buddhahood, he or she already eliminated ignorance, because ignorance is afflictive obscuration from the Pasangika point of view. Then other masters, Swadantaka, Chitamandra say, no. The person who already achieved only liberation, he or she achieved liberation, not eliminated ignorance, because ignorance is cognitive obscuration, not afflictive. Now how Chandrakirti, Pasangika are proof ignorance is afflictive obscuration, not cognitive. Right? Therefore, you will go next page, 208. 400 stanza explain that the conception of the true existence is afflictive. Conception means the mind, the thoughts, the awareness, which is, concept of truly existence is afflictive. Just say afflictive. Now we need to go more clearly. The next paragraph, because this cause living being to be confused in their view of the actual state of the things. It is delusion, ignorant mistakenly superimposed upon the thing as essence that they do not have. It is constitute so as to block perception of their nature. It is clear. Then there's some next paragraph. You just skip the two stanza. Therefore, he explained that the ignorance, which is the first of the 12 factors in the root of secular existence, and within that he also explained that the view of pressing aggregates is the root of secular existence. Since ignorance is the general category and the view of pressing aggregates is the intense, there's no contradictions. Now I will explain very simply. There's a two different view about ignorance is afflictive obscuration or not. Only Pasangika, from the Pasangika point of view, ignorance is afflictive obscuration, not cognitive obscuration. Why? Because ignorance is the root of first among the 12 link dependent origination, among the 12. Right? Therefore, among the 12, you can say first, ignorance. Then second, the karma or volition. Then consciousness. Then all the way aging and death. Right? Aging and death. So, aging and death can be ceased when birth cease. Birth can be ceased when, born cease. All the way, rest of the, like 11 dependent origination can be ceased if we cease ignorance. Therefore, ignorance is the root of the samsara. Achieving liberation is depend on eliminating ignorance. Due to that reason, from the Pasangika point of view, ignorance is the afflictive. Not just afflictive, This is the first among the 12. Right? Among the 12, first ignorance. Then, now, because at the question, somebody asked a question, how come there's a true primary cause of the samsara? How come there's a true primary cause of the second existence? The ignorance and pressing aggregates apprehend as a I and me, me and I and mine. Then now this answering here. He also explained that the view of pressing aggregates. So this is very confusing, what pressing aggregates. Because in Tibetan we have two words that translate into English. Now it becomes very confusing. Tibetan we say the short form jikta, right? Jikta. Therefore, pressing like jik. Then the long form, this is a Pungbo ngala, the 5 aggregates. Pungbo mean aggregates. Nga mean 5. I think the Chinese language you can find exactly 5 aggregate. Right? 5 aggregate. Pungbo nga. Then jigsaw. That means the 5 aggregate is the phenomena which is pressing. It's a kind of nature is a decline. In nature is a like changing. Therefore, pressing aggregates. So when you look at this English sentence, pressing aggregates, what does it mean? Actually, the aggregates, the nature is pressing. It'll kind of, it's all come together, and it's the nature is a kind of, its nature is a decline, decay. Therefore, pressing aggregates is the root of second existence. Since ignorance is general, right? Ignorance is the root of the samsara, generally. Then, instant, for example, particularly when you really study very precisely, now you can see the pressing aggregates, apprehending pressing aggregates independently existent is the main root. Ignorance is the general category, and the view of pressing aggregates is an instance. There's no contradictions. Now, next sentence, ignorance is the opposite of the acknowledge. So this is very difficult to understand. So I think now it's almost 4:32. So we can have a little bit discussion, then we can stop. Until next Sunday, so please everybody finish to read page number 208, 209, 10, 12, only 3 pages. Page number 209, yeah, 209, 214, only 3 pages. Please, everybody, finish to read, sentence by sentence. You read a few sentences, few lines, then you think. If you don't understand, we cannot do, you cannot do anything. You just read. You don't understand, you stop. After you read few, like a sentence, if you confuse, you need to know how I confuse. You keep a note. After you finish all the 3 pages, then you have a question, you have a doubt, or you have a confusion. Keep a note. Next time when we have a class, then we can discuss. Also, on the full moon day, His Holiness is going to give a teaching for, Sarah Drepung Ganden. based on, I think, aspect of three principles. Again, His Holiness, I think, very much emphasize about emptiness. If you are busy in workplace, I don't think workplace you can use the earphone. Still, they always post the teaching on the YouTube. Please, you listen, one or two, three times. Because I said many times, right now what I'm doing, I'm just reading the books in Tibetan, English, and sometimes I have a lot of difficulty to understand the meaning in English. I'm just, copying and teaching you what Lamrim said. I don't have any experience of emptiness, bodhicitta. So when His Holiness Dalai Lama or other master, when they really giving teaching bodhicitta, great compassion, patience, particularly emptiness, they are giving teaching based on the Lamrim, based on the Buddha teaching, but plus experience. When they give a teaching in compound two, one based on the teaching, second his own experience. So when you listen teaching from someone who has experience, the explanation is different, the feeling is different, the voice is different. Therefore, I know most of you are in a way very busy, in a way we are very relaxed because we cannot go anywhere much. You do not need to go to office. You cannot have few people come together, have a party, dinner. No, in our own way we are very kind of relaxed, very free to read books, to practice, to attend teaching. In a one way that the pandemic is very scary time. In a one way, yes. In another way, it give us a really good opportunity to sit home or sit in your room, do study, do chanting, do meditation. You not let you go anywhere. In a one way, very good opportunity. In another way, kind of scary time. Therefore, it's up to you. You can use the pandemic time for important, useful, or meaningful, or just be scared and stay home. Right? Therefore, please you study as much as you can. Let's attend the teaching. After you attend teaching, attend any Dharma class, make sure. I'm really a bit concerned about all of you. Because you are attending many classes here and there, then make sure you're not increasing your ego, pride, just be more knowledgeable about Dharma, not any transformation is no good. Must attend Dharma class, try to transform yourself, try to control your negative thoughts, try to generate your positive thoughts, try to be very calm and happy person. Okay, calm, happy person doesn't mean you become very senseless. You just happy yourself. For example, right now, if we are in Singapore, we have the quite a lot of sad news you can hearing here and there. Also, we must feel the sadness, sufferings, and problem, but no need to be very agitated. No need to be very unhappy. You feel all the sufferings and problem. You must think about, reflect about them, but you should not be, very unhappy. Should not be very disturbing person. Look like you are very, very heavy stone, very heavy and stone rock. When the heavy and very strong rocks, remain in the middle of the windy is always around the stone rock. The solid rock. The windy cannot move the stone, the solid rock. The solid rock also, heating by the air, or the sun and air. The rock always stay very solid. So everybody try to look like a very solid rock in this time. Listen the news, watch the news, reflect the news. Don't try to, don't let them influence you. So this is very important. So we can stop here our class because the topic is quite heavy. Then today we, prepare and more than, actually so far 107 orchid flower. So we already put on the pots. So we are almost finished us, set up the flower. All the flowers, like candlelight, whatever, everything actually come from your contribution, come from your friends or relative contributions. So therefore, first we must rejoice the people, the family who really contribute, money for the flower light. We must have a sense of rejoice. Also, every day when you do chanting recitation, of course, everybody have a little offering here and there in your home. Also, you can remember all the beautiful flower and light in TPC. And every day, please dedicate the merit or benefit all sentient beings, particularly the people, the family, the individual who contribute, for this kind of, beautiful offerings. I really rejoice all of your contribution. On behalf of TBC, I really thanks to all of you, thanks to your friends and family to, have all the beautiful flowers, all the, light offerings. So my daily practice, I always, even though I go for long walking, I'm not just walking around here and there. I do a lot of recitation, chanting. Also, sometimes I stop somewhere. I do a lot of meditation. I reflect things around me. Also, even the one I'm drinking, this day we cannot drink coffee and tea in the coffee shop, right? I bring a small thermos and buy tea and coffee. I just walk around and sit one corner. Also, I'm doing, a lot of recitation, chanting, and meditation. At the end, I always dedicate the merit, the virtues to benefit all sentient beings, particularly those people who really, support Tibetan Buddhist Center. So supporting Tibetan Buddhist Center means you are really supporting, flourish Buddha Dharma into 10 direction, all sentient beings. Thank you so much. And at the end, we do dedications. Through our recitation, chanting, our study, so we have accumulated great amount of merits. All the merits, first we dedicate for becoming Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In order to become Buddha, first, we need to cultivate bodhicitta. We need to realize, second, we need to realize emptiness. Then we have to practice the 6 perfections and all the other practices. Therefore, we dedicate the merit for able to practice bodhicitta, to able to realize emptiness. Next, we dedicate the merit to benefit all sentient beings. And then all the people who are sick, all the people who are in hospital, all the people who really, affected by the COVID. Last, we dedicate the merit for world peace. Peace in all parts of the world, all parts of the countries. Chanjo Semjo Rimbo Jema Ye Bonang Yigyo Gewa Nyamba Meba One Gondo Bewarasho Donye Dawa Rimbo Jema Ye Bonang Yigyo Gewa Nyamba Meba Yang Kone Gondo Bewarasho Jide Yambe Gegan Danje Domine Chune Zazera Zade Maru Moge Guba Gunje Ne Tsiri Ne De Yeldem Hewa Gundo Yanda Lama Dande Me Juge Bala Lonje Sana Lam Ye Yende Razo Ne Doje Change Gobon 有多少